Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chair Yoga and Meditation. I asked that you might start your gathering of your props and things with a candle this time, that you include a candle. I've got kind of my little fancy deal here from Christmas that I still just keep out, only because I thought it would be, um, it could be useful in terms of kind of setting up your space as a sacred space, that you just want to up your game in terms of how to create your yoga environment that brings you to more awareness of the meditation aspect of it, the quieting, I say sacredness of it. So, and also that the use of a candle as a point of reference, that your gaze on a candle, very common in meditation instruction, that is a way to focus, that especially I think the Buddhist tradition uses that quite a bit. So wanted to just give you that experience and introduce that in case you had never tried it as a way of focus. That's all. Nothing more complicated than that. I just thought it kind of adds to the setting. And you could decide you're going to light it right now and begin your transition and create the space right away, or like I'm going to do, at the time we come into meditation, I'm going to do it then. I'm going to just let that be sort of my segue into a different aspect of our practice, of my practice. So one way to look at it. Okay. So let's do that. Let's begin our transitional time now as we start to find our way into our chair, sitting properly. So you want to make sure you're sitting on the front part of the chair. You feel like you've got a lot of support for your pelvis and your feet are grounded. Let's get the block between the legs. You know what that block helps you with? I'm such a faithful fan of the use of a block. I noticed in other teachings that I encounter, I'm kind of alone in that, I guess. It was certainly offered to me, and that's why I landed on it. But anyway, it has to do with alignment of the pelvis. That, when you're squeezing a block between your legs, not only does it bring you into the awareness of those inner thighs, so you're using that bandha pathway. So you're using, or aware of at least, that there's a squeezing action going on to keep that block there. And that engages the mula bandha, the very root of the body, the strongest aspect of creating core strength. And so there's that. But it's also just like if your legs are like that, if you've got to hold a block between your legs, and that's why to me, it's best to have a 4-inch block. Sometimes there are blocks that are narrow like that. I like those for certain things, but not for the use between your legs. The 4-inch block is better. Anyway, so you've got your block between your legs, and you got to hold it there. So your pelvis stays put, so that, like, let's say twisting action, you're not taking your whole body, your whole pelvis is just moving with you. It stabilizes the pelvis on so many levels. So big fan of the block. So I encourage you to use that. All right, here we go back to our transition. Let's pull the belly in so you feel stronger and more aware of your abdominal wall. Again, feeling your feet to the floor, kind of make your transitional body scan where you're just moving up into the body. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. And we're going to use the first breath practice. We're going to use this breath kriya. I mentioned that last time we met. Just notice, the kriya is action, deed, or effort aimed at transforming or changing. So action, deed, or effort aimed at making a change. So we're going to use a breath kriya to change gears, calm the nervous system. And I want to start by expanding. So it's that 3-part breath. It's that 3-part breath. Inhale takes 3 goes. You're inhaling more and more. And the levels that you're climbing, just to remind you, as you start at the low belly or in the belly area, then you're up into the diaphragm. And then you're finally up near the collarbone or at the top of the chest. Take a little pause and then exhale slowly, long exhale all the way out. Take 3 breaths to get that full inhale, and just your intention, our intention with that is expansion. So however that speaks to you, if you're clearly just in the body, you're aware of expansion of the lungs, that's awesome. That's certainly happening. But see if expansion arrives in any other fashion for you, any other way you're realizing that you're encouraging expansion as we breathe this 3-part breath. Stay with it for a couple more breaths. Keep your eyes closed now and lay your right hand over your chest, and then layer your left hand right on top, palm over palm, and you're landed right there in the center of your chest or the heart center. If you can, find your thumbs to connect your thumbs together there. So it's this beautiful butterfly mudra that unites us, left side of the body, right side of the body, right brain, left brain, all this energy of those of that part of our bodies, and just connecting there. Besides the fact that we're bringing ourselves more aware of the breath right under our hands, so we move our awareness of ourselves from the brain, from that thinking mind, I should say, big distinction, the thinking mind, down into the feeling heart. Being okay with that you can be a heart-centered person here. And take a moment now to, inquire within. As part of the yamas and the niyamas, for those of you who are studying with me, going over a review, that's in the niyamas. That's where we do the work for ourselves, or trying to create some guidelines for ourselves. And that's one of them is self-inquiry, svadhyaya. What do I need? Let's take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale that out of your mouth with a bit of a sigh. Let's open the eyes now and just touch your fingertips to your shoulders. Get your elbows up at the level of your armpits and squeeze that block so it stabilizes your pelvis, and begin the movement that moves like this, and that the inhale is on one direction, the exhale is the other direction. So it's pretty kind of quick. I love this breath practice. It's a Kundalini practice. And so I want you to just stay with it, where you just noticing you're taking your inhale on whatever side you started. It doesn't matter. Just inhale left, exhale right, whatever that might be. Just notice it. Turn. Again, you can turn your head with it, all the way with it, or keep your head very stable and you just feel the movement mostly in your shoulder carriage. That all is good. It all works. I like it because it's loosening me up. But I also just love the whole practice of connecting the breath to this quick movement, right and left, and then switching. So next time you're exhaling, find that place so you can just reacclimate there. Now take your inhale there. We're switching. So you take your inhale and switch sides. Just as simple. Feels like your arms are carrying you a little bit, helping you with this twisting action and squeezing that block. Keep your feet to the floor. A couple more now. Stay with it. Excellent. Let's come back to center and release those arms all the way, all the way, all the way down. I'm going to join you in the chair, and we'll begin some movement for our asana practice. I had my golf ball out today. Do you remember using that? That is just, you can move your foot around on it, loosen up that fascia layer of your on the sole of your foot gets tight. So we used to do that all the time in Sarasota where we practiced together. All right, feet are on the floor, squeezing that block. Let's begin with some shoulder rolls, shall we? So you're going to try to keep your arms as close to your side body as you can. Either let them just drape on down or let your hands stay on your lap, whatever feels natural for you. Lots of movement though. Try to exaggerate the movement of the shoulders, shoulder blades particularly. Notice your breathing. Just notice that you are breathing. Notice how you're breathing, just for curiosity. Am I breathing in and out of my nose? Do I breathe out of my mouth quite a bit? Just curious, just to get to know your breath today. Change the direction of that shoulder roll. More just loosening up now. It's just a different direction. The shoulder blades spread apart with this action. And I'm going to turn. You don't need to do anything different. I just want you to see the side. So let's interlace our hands, stretch those fingers, or excuse me, the palms kind of out and round through the back body. So you're really intentionally stretching, kind of creating a dome shape in your upper body there, upper shoulder area. And you definitely can feel how your shoulder blades have split. You know, they're spread apart, stretching in that way. So that's going to be a big stretch there. Let's let that be our inhale. Inhaling here. Exhaling, coming into that W shape where we bring those shoulder blades together and find a vinyasa with that. It's a little more complicated just in the fact that you got to interlace your hands and stretch them out, but create that dome on your inhale, exhale into the heart opening. And I intentionally choose the words heart opening instead of like back bend, because that's what I want to encourage for myself, is that all of this practice perhaps can be my way of softening in the world, opening my heart, being available. Last one, meet right here and then push out like you're pushing out the walls on either side. Hands are spread wide open. You're pushing out. Your wrists are very flexed. You can feel that in your wrists and your hands, I'll bet. Push into your feet too. Now steady that breath. Feel the fullness of your breath. Back yourself into the imaginary wall. So make sure you haven't brought your head forward of your body. You want your head to be in line with the spine. So imaginary wall helps with that. Pushing though, pushing. Use your imagination and your intention, like you're trying to push into the walls on either side of you and you're trying to put your head against a wall. Now feel the breath all the way through your body. Beautiful. Flip your hands so palms are facing up. You still have your fingers spread apart, very stretched open. Take a look from one hand to the other to see how mobile you are with the turn of the head. How's your neck doing? So take your time. You're going to look side to side. You're just investigating and moving. So what if it's very tight? You find, oh man, I could hardly turn my head that way. So you start to move a little bit, drop your chin, try loosening it up. That's the intention here. We're going to see if we can loosen it up. And we wouldn't know if we didn't, have this awareness by bringing ourselves into this little exercise of knowing. Let's see, what's it like? How is it today? Full extension of your arms is not nothing, right? That takes strength. After a while, those arms get really tired, like they're super heavy. Keep loosening up your neck. Beautiful. Palms come together overhead. Inhaling there, exhale, bow at the heart. Inhale, back up. Exhale all the way around. Let's do two more of those. Inhaling up, exhaling back and down. Little time in the cow and the cat, so pull those arms back. arch your back body, feel your feet to the floor, feel your bottom on that chair, and feel the arch of your back body. Keep your head very neutral so your jawline is parallel to the floor. Just breathe in and out here. Let's shape that, feel that in our body today. Or see how well your shoulder blades can draw toward each other. I think we loosened them up. I bet they're pretty good and ready to go here. And then let's practice the cat pose. So hands come to the thighs. I keep them real close to the knee so I can have full extension of my arms. Now tuck like crazy. Tuck your pelvis. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And drop your chin to your chest so you can feel the dome shape of your back body. It's a different shape of the spine for sure, but also the pelvis. Squeeze that block because remember, this is the perfect pose. Doing the cow and cat sequence of poses, that vinyasa, is a perfect way to use this squeezing action of the block on your exhale to fire up that mula bandha. So let's be sure to incorporate that. Inhaling into your cow pose. Exhale, cat, as you squeeze the block, pull your belly in. Feels like you're trying to lift yourself off the chair. You know what to do. Takes a full breath in, and it takes a full breath out, so you have time to do the work. And you don't need to keep up with what I'm doing at all. Keep your eyes right where you are. You don't need to watch the screen for this. You've done it many times. One more through the full sequence. When you come back to your neutral position, hold on to your chair and tilt back so you can get your feet off the floor. So that's all you're seeing is just a tilt back and coming back down to neutral. Once you feel comfortable with that you know you're secure on the chair, lift them up and hold them up and get your arms right alongside your legs. So it's like you're trying to squeeze your legs together with your hands. Oop, started to slip there. And you're getting your shins up as much as you're able to do in balance. Squeeze the block, arms are just right up against your legs. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, if your neck is strained, let's get our feet back to the floor. Now, if you're doing that and you feel like you're tight and your neck is strained, then I guess you got to reel it back so that is not happening. Let's try it again. Maybe, if that's too tight for you, hold on. Maybe that's part of it, that you're going to hold on to the legs rather than squeeze them together. What could you do to release tension in your neck and shoulders? Because we don't want it there. We want to use the strength now of the abdominal wall and the strength of our legs. Bring them down, take a pause. This time I'm going to hold on to the chair for sure. Lift it up and I want you to just move around. So I can shimmy around in my chair. That's not available. You don't have that kind of a seat that allows you to move. Then just bring it up, bring it down, move around, however you can do it better in your particular chair. I kind of like that actually, lifting it up and dropping down. Let's work with that, lifting up and dropping down. And the next time that you've dropped your legs over towards your right side, keep them there. Kind of make sure you feel like your pelvis is still centered in the chair like it's supposed to, but your legs have wandered off to the side. Squeeze the block. So our legs are going this way. That means we're going to take our twist with the other way. So you're going to just use a big swing of your arms and use the chair or your body parts to bring you into the twist or help you hold yourself into the twist. I love that about chair yoga, is that we've got this great prop here to help us, and you can grab hold and find some surface that you can use. It's awesome. And of course, if for whatever reason you're just kind of trying to move away from that, you're just trying to use your own core strength in ways, then you don't have to use a chair. So it's just awesome. Let's deepen the breath. Feel your feet, feel your bottom. You want to feel how the sit bones are connected to that chair seat. And the twist, because of this block that we have stabilized our pelvis with, is from the waistline primarily in the shoulder carriage. So we're working in that lumbar area of the spine. Let's turn to take our head out of the twist, but keep your body in the twist. And we'll relax our arms. Let's see if we can move right over there to the other side. Take that sweeping action of the arms. Now make your way into the sensation of the sit bones in the chair. So you feel the verticality of your spine. You're not leaning one way or another. Big breath now, big full breath. Remember to exhale out every time, all the way out. That's just such a good strategy to employ, whether I'm coaching that or not, that you remember to just make sure your exhale completes itself. Let's get the head to turn out of that twist. And then your arms and shoulders. And again, we're going to lift up and hold. So I'm holding onto the chair right now. You could do it with your hands on the legs, but I wasn't quite positioned for that. One more breath. And let's bring it all down. All right, let's lose the block for the time being and open up into a wider stance so your heels are in and your toes are out. Let's start by moving that pelvis around like you're doing a hula hoop. So moving the pelvis, circular way, And it's pretty much focused there in the pelvis. The upper body is fairly well stationary. Let's change the direction of the circle. And with the change of direction, changes the movement. So you're going to start to include the upper body, include the chest cavity, the rib cage, if you will. It's a bigger deal, bigger movement. Excellent. Let's come back to center, interlace those hands, stretch that forward. Remember, you're rounding through the back body, spreading your shoulders apart. There's your inhale. Exhale, open the heart. That's the W shape. Inhale, round, dome. And exhale here, open the heart. Last one. Let's take a forward fold. We're going to fold right between our legs. Keep your eyes open, get your shoulders down low, look down and underneath your chair like you're trying to look at the wall back there. You're getting down, down, down. And connect to something. Have your hands on the floor, on your feet. Somehow you feel your hands connected. Maybe it's your block. Now find the rhythm of your breathing and try to encourage that breath as a belly breath. You want to really feel this movement in your body in the belly while you're breathing. So big belly breath. Good. Now wander over towards your right leg. Wander over, and that might mean you have to kind of put the puzzle pieces together differently. Like, where's my arm supposed to go? See where you can do it, that you still feel fairly balanced right to left in your pelvis, fairly balanced, but your upper body has twisted to lean toward that right leg. Finish that breath. Slowly wander over towards your left leg. New puzzle to put together. Keep your awareness of your sit bones. Keep your awareness of your feet and the awareness of the belly breathing. Just one more breath. And we'll come back to center. Now, one hand at a time comes to your thighs. Squeeze your elbows into your waist. Meet me halfway up. I'm moving. You don't have to. Here's what I mean by halfway up. You've got that diagonal line. You're trying to keep that head in line with your spine. Maybe pull your chin in towards your throat a little bit. Push your feet into the floor, really prominently getting your awareness and where's this happening in my body? Legs. Push everything into your legs. And then spread your arms away from you like you would if you had wings. So spreading those wings, legs. Find your breath. Big, strong, full breath. Can you bring both arms out front? Another breath. And push your leg Push your feet down. That'll help you get up, up, up. Good. All the way up. Just wait. Now we're going to climb. I want you to look up if it's okay for your neck, like you're trying to reach something higher and higher, one hand at a time. I was listening to a teacher the other day. She was doing this like you're picking apples. She said, let's pick apples, reaching up. You know, and if your head and neck, just like it's not really working for me, you can bring your head down to neutral and still do the movement with your arms reaching. Nice, just an adjustment you might want to make, might need to. A couple more reaches. Palms together, head is neutral, palms together overhead. Just pause there. Feel your palm to palm, and your hands are kind of in a prayer position. Push your feet to the floor. Feel this in your body. Try to feel where is open and easy, and where is there some contraction or some, resistance or something like that. Let's inhale here. Exhale, open the heart. So it's that W shape, and you can feel the movement in your shoulder blades. But bringing palms together overhead and then down. Inhale up and exhale down. Good. Let's open and close now. So you're just bringing those bent elbows and forearms together. Get strong with your experience of the pelvis in that chair. Your legs still have your full awareness, even though you're moving the upper body, still have full awareness of what's going on in the lower body. Let's clasp hands. Keep those elbows together if you can. If not, I bet you every one of us can clasp our hands. So either your version of it looks more like that, or that you can come somewhere in between having elbows together. And we're going to tilt down to bring our elbows to our knee, kind of crossing over. So stretching over to the opposite knee and then over here. There's no real opposite knee. I don't know what I'm saying there. One knee and then the other. Keep going. Smooth out your breath, because it'd be easy to just kind of forget about it and get real shallow with the breath. So we got to bring our awareness back to that. Last time. Open and close. I just have hands open now. Close it up. And now drop your hands down so your elbows are bent and you're in that scarecrow position. Now see if you can soften around your neck so you're not crowding your shoulders up towards your ears. You're clearing the space there. Feels kind of awkward, I know. Hold it there. And then we'll move from hands up to hands down. And we're just employing different muscles in the upper body. Good. When your hands are down, let's slowly, slowly, slowly release that so you can feel that wonderful experience of the letting go in the body. So good. Hold on to the chair. Take a foot and step it over and then switch feet. And make it be your own pace, like how wide you are, how big of a leap you take. All that's up to you. The gain, what are we gaining here, is the flexibility, strength and flexibility in the low back area. Excellent. Let's come back now to feet in a more hips distance apart, a little more neutral position, and scoop up one of your legs so that the weight of that leg is in your arms, and we're going to move through our joints. So start by making sure your spine is upright and erect. I know we want to do this, but let's try not to. Bring yourself upright instead and move through the joints. Spread your toes, get all those snap, crackles, and pops out of there. Steady that breath. And stop that movement and instead move to swinging your shin around. And so therefore you're moving laterally in the knee joint, which is great. You're going to want to change the direction of your circle. We're going to hug that knee up into the chest. Use your shin to pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. Breathe into that because we've squeezed our leg into the belly. You want to feel the breath interacting with that thigh up there. And then get a hold of your foot. So one hand on your knee, perhaps, and one hand somewhere on your foot. And let's do, I call this just some nonlinear movement. So we're just going to try to move through the hip any way we can find access. So that even means, you let go of it, that holding on to one doesn't have to happen. Some of it, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So you're just exploring different ways to move through the leg, especially your hip. Good, let's come back to center. We're going to have to get a hold of our foot some way, or the lower part of your leg. Maybe you're closer to your ankle here for a straight leg. So I'm turning, you don't need to do this. So you're just trying to lift it out there as straight as you can. Maybe you use one hand to really help get the bend out of that knee. You're kind of pushing down into your thigh bone, perhaps. Breathe in, breathe out. It's as high as you can do. Hug the knee into the chest and back down. Reset the body. Let's try side 2. Scoop up that leg, get the weight into your arms. No leaning back. Use the wall back, that imaginary wall, to keep you upright. And we're working within the frame of the hips, and the chair kind of helps you figure out how, you can't be out like this. You're bringing yourself right nice and tidy within the frame of that chair. Lots of movement. Work it out. All those little, it gets pockets of, this is considered a, how do they say it? Something about release of air. I can't say it how that. So the joints get that way. We're clicking around. Okay, now we're into the knee joint. Notice your breath. Hug that knee into the chest. Use your shin to pull it in. Pull, pull, pull. The foot on the floor is important. That's that standing leg. So make sure you stay steady with awareness there. Breathe belly breaths. And then we're going to do nonlinear movement. So you might start off with this traditional hold of the leg, and then you start getting a little more creative. And you're just moving. I say keep your awareness right where you are. You don't need to look out at the screen. You just are paying attention to what's going on your chair and in your body. How's this doing for my hip? Do you feel, safe and secure on that chair? You're not going to slide off, all those things. You're just paying attention to what's going on in your space. Right, we come back to holding the shin. This time we're going to straighten that out. Hold on to your foot. Maybe you push a hand into your thigh bone. Try to keep yourself upright, pulling your chest toward that extended leg, not away from it. Pulling your chest toward it. Remember the standing leg. That foot is on the floor, is steady and stabilizing. Hug that knee into the chest. Both feet to the floor. Take a pause. Move your body any way you need to. Spread your toes. Let's get our block one more time. Right between the thighs it goes. And we're going to go back to that movement where we're lifting up. And yeah, you do tilt yourself. Your upper body's going to probably tilt back. No problem. Lift and hold. Holding onto your legs in some fashion. I like trying to raise the feet up a little bit and holding on, or extending the legs so the shins are more parallel, just playing with that. More core strength. No tension in your neck. We don't want that. Finish the breath you're on, feet to the floor, bottom up, all the way up. Let's keep the block wherever it landed, wherever it is. Make sure your feet are straight, shoulders back and down, kind of reset. I always say, gotta reset your wardrobe sometimes. Put your shirt down. And find some place to look at so that your eyes are not entirely closed, but your eyelids are pretty well down. So this way we have to stay alert. You know, closing the eyes kind of gives you a vacation, doesn't it? You kind of like, you know, go away. So instead, we're just looking down and we're going to use the discipline tapas to stay with this program here. You know, stay right where we are, feeling our way into our body. We're going to need a soft bend of the knee here, but get real strong with your belly wall. Pull in. Feel the breath moving all the way through. That full body experience of breath would be perfect right here. Good. All right, let's bring ourselves upright. We're just looking out. I want you to just bring your hands forward, and so palms are up, and then we make a fist so we can squeeze in. You can feel that squeeze into the biceps, and then flatten out so the palms face down. So it's just a turn like that. And I want you to add a little bounce. And just notice where you're breathing. So it's just noticing the breath moving through this action. I'm turning. You don't need to necessarily. So palms up when you're making the fist, palms down when you're extending your arms down alongside your body. Start to notice where you're inhaling and where you're exhaling. Just curious about it. Pick up the pace if you're good with that. And all the way down. Okay, let's lose the block, and we're going to use our chair a little differently. So this one is, you want to be near the chair, so you have a standing leg near it. For support, you might not need the chair. And the outside leg is going to do some flex and extension. So it's just a swinging leg. I'm going to turn to the side so you are really keying in on what I'm saying. So keeping your leg swinging within the frame of your hips. How's that? That kind of gives you some direction. So it's pretty much a straight leg forward and a bent knee that comes back. And, you know, if you're trying to do this without the support of the chair just to get stronger in your core strength and your balance, that's something you could do. You know, even a fingertip to that chair will give you will make you feel more stable. Amazingly, just takes that. Now, let's take the bent knee. Again, I'm turning. So see if you can get a hold of your foot. So you've got a quad stretch. Now we're able to really stretch through that quad and into the psoas muscle. So it's a great stretch to keep your heel real close to the buttocks. So it's also a good stretch to pull it away. So I want you to kind of work with both of those, holding your foot with your hand, stretching the quad by either pulling that heel right in toward the buttocks or letting it pull away. Try to do a little bit of both. Let's deepen the breath. Let go of your foot now. Bent knee comes forward like you just put your foot on a stool or something, and see if you can balance that one leg now. So strengthening the standing leg. You've got one foot up in the air, you know, bent knee. Now I want you to try to lift and lengthen the spine. Any amount. Lift and lengthen the spine as you breathe in and breathe out. You've always got the chair. Both feet to the floor. Shaking, shaking, shaking. New side. Any shaking out? I took all my time moving the chair, but a shake is a real good thing. And then we'll go to side two. Starts with just the flex and extension of the hip. Straight leg forward, bent knee comes back. So you're trying not to move your whole body with this. You're trying to isolate the movement in the leg. Notice how your breath is keeping up with you. Great. Bent knee. I'm turning. You don't have to. Hold on to your foot. This side might be different. So either pulling that heel in towards your buttocks or letting it stretch away from it. Both are good. I want you to try them both. And you're either using the chair or not. I like to play around with getting both hands on my foot. Keep a drishti. Stare at something now so you feel like that's one more place you're anchored. Your gaze. All right, that bent knee comes forward for our balance now, balancing into the strength of the standing leg. You can hold on to the chair or just touch the chair. Full breath in and out. Lengthen the spine. Now try to do that as an effort, that you're not letting your upper body sort of collapse, that you're still growing through the length of the spine, strengthening that spine. Last time, and then we get our foot to the floor and we're going to shake that out. All right, let's position the chair in such a way that we can get a foot up there. There's pros and cons about which foot, the one that's closest to the back of the chair or the one that's furthest. I don't know. You just decide which one we want it up there so that we can hike it up and get our more range of movement and stretching into that upper thigh, into the buttocks. So whatever feels more stable for you, depending on, and holding onto the chair in different ways. It's very nonlinear movement. This is just creative movement. You're going by the feel of it. Try rolling your foot over toward the pinky edge of the foot. And if you do choose that, you want to make sure you're pressing down into that. So it's very strong action so that it stabilizes your ankle that way. I've gotten feedback over the years about this, putting your foot up on the chair, mostly that it's really useful, that it's a great stretch into the hip and buttocks, into the psoas area. So I kind of like to offer it every now and then to make sure we're getting that for ourselves, that deep stretch into the buttocks. Now I'm just going to stay right here to switch sides. You're going to walk around to the other side and switch sides now. So both legs both hips get a chance to do this, the buttocks. And keep your focus on your chair. Keep your focus on what you're doing and what you're feeling. You don't need to watch the screen. Notice your breath. Relax your mouth. When it feels like you've spent the same amount of time on this side that you did on the first side, feel like you're all stretched out, then I invite a downward facing dog. So you're facing the seat of your chair. You've got your hands on that chair seat. You start walking back from it. Hands, the distance between your hands and the distance between your straight feet is about the same. Try to straighten your legs. You're just working on that, stretching through the calves and into the hamstrings. Might not be perfect, but it feels pretty straight to you. You want to make sure you're pressing your feet to the floor in a way that it's like you're trying to make an imprint. You want to make sure your toes are making an imprint just as well as your heels. Now breathe in a way that seems like you're trying to expand your lungs. So it's not linear, it's not moving up and down the spine necessarily in terms of your imagination, but it's broadening. It's broadening your shoulders. It's expanding through those ribs. Let's keep our chin tucked in toward our throat for 2 or 3 full breaths, expansive breaths. Bend the knees now, soften those knees and start walking towards your chair. Now round through your back body, knees are bent. Keep your head down. I know you can do this without looking at me. And start rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Chin stays down, head's down until you're all the way upright. And then finally you lift your head. Take a pause now. Just wait. Stand in your mountain pose and just wait and notice how your body's adjusting. Beautiful. Let's move toward our meditation now. This is where we might get our candle out. If you haven't already gotten your candle lit, this would be the time of transition. And again, this is the time when you're getting a drink, you're doing the things you need to do. So you're going to be comfortable. You're grabbing your blanket or getting your socks on. It's all transitional. So try to stay tuned in to your experience. Don't get distracted to go talk to somebody or do something else. Try to stay right here, right now. When you're ready, and if you're participating with the candle, it's certainly optional. We're putting the candle in a place that we can look at it, that it's within our gaze, we can see the flame. We are using the chair's backrest, so you're able to do that if that's going to be the more relaxing, because I think being fully relaxed is important to establishing a meditation practice. But some of you who are more practiced at this may be able to hold yourself away from the backrest into a more traditional, formal meditation posture, which would mean your shoulders are above your hips, your spine is long. So both are good. You choose what seems more appropriate for you. We're going to start off our meditation time together with some guidance. And we're going to use the mantra so hum, just like it sounds, SOHUM, 2 words, so hum. Inhale, so, exhale, hum. I'm going to turn just to give you a visual. You don't need to do anything different. But it's kind of a circular thing when you're breathing. It's like you're taking the so hum, bringing so up, and the hum kind of lays down in front of you. So it's bringing that movement that feels almost, maybe it almost is encircling you. So hum. My hands are just trying to illustrate the flow of this. It's just all in your imagination. Now, as your eyes are closed and you start to get the rhythm of that, let me talk a little bit about it. So is on the inhale, hum on the exhale. And that translates as I am that. I am that. What would that be? It's a move, it's a beautiful way of saying, I am not just this thinking, chattery mind, worried creature. I am that the universal energy of pure love. I am that. So that's what So Hum is reminding us. It's not just this the day-to-day stress, strain, tightness. We're more than that. We're more than that. And this is just a brief allowing our psyche to embrace that. So hum. So hum. And as to the candle, sorry, I didn't bring that in. That could be where your gaze is, that you don't have your eyes closed. Instead, you're focusing on the candle. You know what I like? I like to start it with the candle, but I close my eyes in no time at all because that just feels that is what feels natural to me. Soften your jaw, relax your face. And just imagine yourself being encircled with this breath. So the space around you is participating in this meditation just as much as your own heart and soul. And my invitation is to stay with that as long as it feels comfortable and right for you. You can depart from that whenever you want, but I just encourage you, of course, just to find a technique that allows you to stay true to your experience on that chair right now, right inside your body and connected to your breath. I am that. Relaxing your shoulders, allowing your hands to stay soft and relaxed. Just knowing that your mind will start getting busy and bringing you away from your meditation, and that's okay. It's a natural aspect of this practice that we notice that and we come back anyway. We come back maybe time and time again, back to the awareness of our breath, the awareness of the candle, whatever it might be. You're not doing anything wrong when your attention wavers and you move into another thought process. That's typical. It's all right. Back you come. Breathing in and breathing out. Just bring right hand to the chest, to the heart center. Layer your left hand on top of that, finding your thumbs connected. Eyes closed if you're still comfortable with that. And I'm going to lead us through that simple but beautiful and universal practice called the loving kindness meditation. We start with, it's a 3-part blessing. We start always with ourselves, centering ourselves and bringing this awareness of a blessing to ourselves. Then we find the next level, which is all the people we know and love, whoever comes to mind, and we just call that you, all those people that we know and love that are in our circle. And then finally, we go way out beyond to the place where we're offering the same blessing to all people in the whole world, everywhere. And we recognize the similarity that we all want the same thing. So connecting with your breath, inhaling and exhaling fully, let's begin. Follow me with your own participation. May I be safe and protected. May I be happy and at peace. May I be healthy and strong. May I live with ease. May you be safe and protected. May you be happy and at peace. May you be healthy and strong. May you live with ease. May all people everywhere, every person, every being, be safe and protected. May we be happy and at peace. May we be healthy and strong. And may we, all people everywhere, every person, every being, live with ease. Noticing perhaps the beating of your heart or the breath that you can feel right there at the heart center. Let's relax our hands back to the lap. Take a big breath in through your nose and exhale out with a sigh. Ah, a couple cleansing breaths like that, inhaling and sighing that out. Take your hands and squeeze at your neck and shoulder area. Move your head gently around to offer some tender, loving care to the neck and the shoulders. You just have to feel your way into that. And finally, now we'll sync up our breath. Inhale with me, palms come together, look up. Exhale, bow at your own heart. Inhale back up. And as we exhale, let's share this loving energy with our community. Be generous now. Share it all around. Hands come back to the prayer position. We bow to ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thanks for joining me. Have a beautiful week.